From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Riffs with your host, Keith Reza.
Hey, Vic. How
you
are
doing?
you? Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Thank you so much for saying yes.
Oh, please, my pleasure. Sorry, I can't do it from my computer. I can only do it from the phone.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
I'm not computer savvy.
Does that mean if someone famous texts you, I'm going to see the text messages?
I have no idea.
Oh, excellent. Cool. We're in for a surprise.
Who's famous is going to text me?
If I was famous, I would text you. I'd be like, hey, Vic.
Oh, thank you.
Man, so I watched your video, and like then I saw your video of you pronouncing your last name, how it pisses you off, and then I was like, holy shit, I really hope I don't fuck it up, because it was pretty intense and I had to watch it like 3 times.
Let me hear you say.
I was gonna say DiBitetto.
Good, that's good.
Okay, is that
Oh, DiBitetto, not DiBitetto. DiBitetto.
DiBitetto? All right, excellent. I mean, because like I saw that video, I was like, holy shit, he might murder me.
No, I got that. I worked in Chicago, and MC was like a kid, and he was saying the same exact thing you're saying, but he said it right. It's okay.
Oh,
I'm used to it.
oh man. So I wanted to ask you because I know that you've been doing stand-up comedy ever since the first bloom, probably in the 80s, but you found a lot of success with the viral videos like Bread and Milk. And I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but you were doing videos way before Bread and Milk.
Since 2009, I have
Yeah.
over 10,000 videos. My library is amazing.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point where if I feel like taking like a couple of days break, I just replay my old ones, and I could do this for a couple of years. I mean, Bread and Milk was the first one that went viral.
Yeah.
And that's what most people, they think that's what put me on the map. But yeah, I mean, it helped. But I've been doing these videos since 2009.
Would you say that you're probably one of the first comics who were like actually doing the videos and posting them on the internet?
Not only the first comic, but the oldest comic to be using the media.
Yeah.
I got onto TikTok late in the game, but that's not my Facebook and YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say first guys, absolutely.
TikTok's hard because like one, I think it's a very boring game.
It is. And now on TikTok, they're stealing my who wants coffee? Who wants coffee? They're taking that audio and they're using it all like they'll video something with my audio in the background, and there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah. The AI laws. It sucks.
There's one guy on TikTok, he's posting all my videos and he's getting more views than me. It's crazy. TikTok is insane.
Yeah. I think this is where like the internet could be dangerous because, like you said, they're taking I personally don't think maybe they're personally like trying to rip you off. I think they're just doing it to get views for themselves, but they don't realize that it's against, it's wrong. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it is exposure, but all I ask that, in the little right-hand corner, write my name, give me a little credit. That's all.
Yeah. I've had jokes of mine stolen into memes and stuff, and it kind of sucks.
Well, and the Who Wants Coffee is a huge meme.
Yeah. But speaking of coffee, what gave you the idea to sell coffee after your shows?
Well, a company contacted my manager and asked if I'd be interested in my own coffee line because I did this video that went viral. I'm Italian, and the Italian family, when it came to coffee, it was a big thing. Who wants coffee? My mother would be with the Farberware pot with the extension cord into the garage. So I just took it, I exaggerated it. And that went viral. And a coffee company contacted my managers. How about we give Vic his own coffee? And it's on my website. I sell it after my shows sometimes. Yeah. It's a nice, it's something different, a little instead of T-shirts and hats. Coffee. Everybody loves coffee.
It's unique too, because like you said, instead of T-shirts or hats or DVDs, you're getting coffee.
Cups.
This cup's the next seller. You already bought the coffee. Buy your mug now.
I got mugs. I got toilet paper, my face on it. That's a high. I tell the people that's in case I get shit faced.
Now, which one of your own coffee line is the coffee that you suggest for the folks? Like, if they're not a big coffee person, what's a good coffee that for them to get involved in? Like, how many flavor? Yeah, how many flavors you got?
Oh, we got medium, hazelnut, decaf, and I recommend the regular roast.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a big hazelnut guy. Like that.
Okay, and French vanilla, but it's doing okay. I think I was gonna break records, but it's more of a novelty than anything else.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you when you first started comedy, like, because there's a bloom, there's a comedy bloom that there's a lot of comics, and not where nowadays everybody's a comic. You know what I mean? So I want
that old expression, everybody's a comedian.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, like, what was that like growing up and starting your journey into that compared to today's? Like, would you say that's easier for you now, or was it easier for you back then?
Oh, it's much easier now. I mean, I paid my dues. Now I'm selling out theaters and clubs. I'm headlining. But when I first started coming up, the 80s, that was like the real heyday of stand-up. I started out as an MC. Then I worked my way up to be the featured act, and eventually I was the headliner. But like back in the 80s, when you did the city, you had to follow like 6 guys. And, by the time I went up, who the hell wants to hear another comedian? But the game has changed now. Now it's how many followers you have in a social media. And you could put some of these guys on stage and they have nothing.
Yeah.
Me, I got the social media, I got the videos, and I could go on stage and make you laugh for an hour and a half. And plus I'm selling out shows. So it was the perfect storm. I got aboard just in time. But now it's, Facebook is limiting my audience. They're messing with the algorithms. I'm not getting as many views as I used to get.
Yeah.
But I post every day. I try to be diverse. A lot of these guys are one-trick ponies. They do the same thing. I got characters. I got ticked off Vic. I pretend I'm the Yankee manager, the Giant coach. I do Rocky. I do Rodney Day. I got all these characters, and my content is so diverse.
Yeah.
That's why part of the secret to my success.
Now, do you think that if the internet and computers were around when you were first starting, because regardless of how it is, it's still you, it's still your heart and your humor. So that's what makes you successful. You know what I mean? Right. It's not really the views, it's what you're putting out there. And
right.
So if you had that technology back in the 80s, I think it would really, do you think like it would be more helpful? Because in the 80s, there's word of mouth.
Absolutely. I would have been in the Sebastian Maniscalco, Bill Burr league, but, like I said, I'm doing better than most, not as good as some, and believe it or not, COVID actually helped me gain an audience because people were staying home and they had nothing to do. And a lot of times when I do meet and greets after my show, they say, dude, you got me through COVID with your videos. I want to thank you for that. So, it was a blessing in disguise, even though, my stand-up shows were canceled.
Yeah.
But videos helped, Yeah. I had to supplement my income.
That's very interesting because I know COVID did help a lot of certain comics, like newer comics, blow up and stuff. But I would think COVID might have hurt you because you were just blowing up when it happened.
I tell you, it helped my videos, but it hurt my stand-up.
Yeah. So man, it was
I was doing those virtual shows like this. I was doing the shows on Zoom, and you need a live audience. You can't do this on a Zoom meeting. People would pay, and you see their faces. They're all sitting in their living room. I'm doing my act in my office. My wife is upstairs yelling at me to be quiet, and you hear a toilet flush. Somebody's house. One guy's yelling at his wife, "Hey Marie, get me a glass." They don't realize I hear them. When you're in your house and not in a comedy club, you act differently.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the same way for interviews too. I mean, I think in studio is better because the energy is better. But Zoom, to be honest, it's not a bad backup for an interview.
Oh, for interview, of course.
Yeah.
I'd rather do this, go to a studio. This is so convenient.
Yeah. And plus you're in New York. I'm in the Sunnyvale of California.
Oh, I'm in New Jersey, New York, New Jersey, same shit.
When was the last time you played California?
Oh man. Well, I played it way before anybody ever knew about me. A friend of mine was a comic, John Mulrooney, and I stayed at his house. I did I did the Ice House when Rosie O'Donnell was the host of Stand Up Spotlight.
Yeah.
I did Igby's, and what was the other place? I never did the Comedy Store, but that's when I was just starting out. I wanted I got a lot of fans tell me, when you're coming to California, I'm a little leery. I don't know. I sell out shows from New England to Florida, and the furthest west I'll go is Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm sure fans of California, but it's got to make sense. Because venues, they want to, like, I was booked in the Neptune Theater in Seattle, and the ticket sales are horrible, and so they had that. But I would love to go to California, San Diego. I don't know.
You would do great in San Diego.
I know. I'd love to go. I got to talk to my manager. I really do.
Yeah. The reason why I asked is because you're a comic who I would love to see live. You know what I mean? Because I think, yeah.
And the videos are entirely different than my stand-up. I got a lot of people come to my shows expecting me to do the videos. Then they see my stand-ups and say, holy shit, you're fucking more funnier in person than the video. They don't understand. The videos is different. That's another, that's a completely different animal. But stand-up that's why you'll never see my stand-up bits on the media. Because I feel that who's going to come out and watch my show if they're watching it for free on the social media?
That's very smart. I wish I could take down all my stand-up clips off the internet. I mean, my special's on the internet, so I like that there, but all just the little 2-minute clips, because
that's the new thing is reels, and but to show my entire act, I would never do that. They got to see me. That's how I make a living. Bad enough I'm giving them free entertainment on the social media. Then it pisses me off. They get mad. What's with these commercials? First of all, you're getting free entertainment. The commercials are 10 seconds long. When you watch TV, you watch your favorite TV show, don't you sit through the commercials? When you go to the movie, don't you sit through the previews? Why am I always held to a different standard? You know why? Because I'm easy to reach.
Yeah. Do you think it's also because you're a comedian, where comics are probably the most disrespected form of entertainers, if you think about it? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, if you go to a concert, you go see Led Zeppelin. All right, look, I'm 63. That's why I picked Led Zeppelin. You don't yell out, hey, you got any other new songs? They want to hear Kashmir. They want to hear Stairway to Heaven over and over. A comic is different.
Yeah.
I have any new material? It took me 40 years to get an hour and a half worth of material. When you go see Dice Clay, you go see him for his nursery rhymes. When you go see Robert Williams, they don't understand how hard it is. One night I did a completely new set. After the show, the guy goes, how come you didn't do that other bit that you used to do? You can't win. You can't make everybody.
Have you ever done something where, for example, I know I'm funny, and I know, not to brag, but I know I'm good. So I'd kill it. And then if I'm just working on new stuff, I don't really care to be funny. I just want to get the jokes out, and and then people after shows, they say mean stuff to you, like, oh, you were funnier last night. And you're like,
because people suck. We are living in a world of self-entitled, stupid. Can I curse?
Of course. We love it. We fucking love it, Vic.
Delusional, jealous, fucking pieces of shit. Let me just see you get on stage. I get these guys. Oh, my family says I'm funny too. Yeah, go on stage in front of 1,200 people for an hour.
Yeah.
But people are so fucking. The stupidity in this country. I guess we've always had these assholes, but now they're more exposed because of the social media.
Yeah. I think it's also when comics release clips of them talking to a heckler or something, I feel I mean, I think it's funny. I'm not, but I don't want to be hypocritical, but I feel that it's bad for stand up because now you're teaching audience members it's okay to interrupt a show.
I get that a lot too. Hey, when I come to the show, pick on my friend. I don't do that. I'm not Don Rickles. I don't like working the crowd. Plus, I'm fast. They don't really have it. My fans, I got a great following. Now it's gotten to the point where I'm getting heckled by my own material. Yeah. They're yelling out. And then I start cracking up. And, I know they mean well, but they're not vicious or malicious. But yeah, he's like Ari Spears. He's great at that. I mean, the clips he's posting when he works the crowd, I can't do that. I don't know how he does. I'm not, I just want to, I tell them, sit back, stop with the shout outs. Nobody gives a shit that it's your fucking birthday. Have a cocktail. Let me entertain you. That's all. And we all go home happy.
It sucks hitting Mitch Hedberg status. You know what I mean?
Mitch Hedberg. I worked with him in 1998. We went to the Montreal Comedy Festival. What a great fucking guy. We hung out. We got high. He says, welcome to Montreal. And then he passed away. That one hit hard because I hung out with him. I loved him. He was a genius. He was like a hippie Stephen Wright.
Oh, definitely. He died my first year in comedy, and I was like an open micer at that time. So like how I learned to be good at comedy is I just went to a whole bunch of comedy shows and I just studied from the best. And I saw Mitch Hedberg at the Hollywood Improv, and he was being heckled the whole time with his own jokes. So and he'd just be like, oh, okay. And then he'd repeat it. And then he's like, it wasn't funny because that guy said.
He had all those one-liners. He was great. Just shame.
So who were like the big boys when you were starting? Like who were the guys that helped you out?
Kevin James, Ray Romano. I once did a show with Chris Rock before he shot to stardom. The big thing was to get bookings. Like if I lived in Brooklyn and, Staten Island, and right away, if they knew you had a car, you would have to pick up the comic in the city and go do a show. So Chris Rock went out and picked them up, and we came to a toll booth, and he pretended he was sleeping because he didn't want to pay the fucking toll. So I hit the brakes just to wake him up.
Yeah.
To get out of him. But then further down the road, I had to follow him at the comic strip in Manhattan, and I just fucking bombed. I didn't even want to go on. How do you follow Chris Rock? That's when he was like, when he just got into SNL.
Yeah.
But it is, look, Ray Romano, comedy is subjective. Ray Romano, Kevin James, Sebastian, Bill Burr, they're no better than me. I'm no better than them. They, it's all right place, right time, little bit of luck, little bit of talent, little bit of timing. It's, there's no rhyme and reason in this business. But I'm, look, I make a nice living. I have a beautiful house. I drive a Lexus. My family's healthy. I can't complain.
When you were talking about how following Chris Rock and stuff, now you're one of those guys where people are probably scared to follow you.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm good friends with Joey Diaz. He lives like 2 minutes from me. He moved here from LA. He was tired of the whole bullshit out there. And he contacted my managers. I love to have dinner with Vic, and we've been friends for 2 years since he's lived here. And recently he went out to do Joe Rogan's podcast, and he gave me a shout out, and I couldn't fucking believe it. He mentioned my name, and Joe Rogan said, yeah, Vic, I remember Vic. He was an animal on stage. When I'm listening to this, and I'm jerking off. I'm like, holy shit, Joe Rogan said that about me. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Next thing you know, he's going to have you on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, love to, but you know what? I like to be asked. I don't want to ask. I don't go where I'm not wanted. I've always been like that. I don't like asking favors. If he wants me on, I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Is that like an Italian trait that you have? Because I feel a lot of comics are pretty to asking. And if you want
it's in Italian, and look, I was brought up a different way. I don't like asking people to help. Like Kevin James, he called me out of nowhere to be in Mall Cop 2. I never asked him. We weren't friends. We started together in Long Island. We knew of each other. But that's how it happens, It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah, that's true. Would you say that Paul Blart 2 is probably one of the only sequels that might have been just as good or better than the first?
Oh, I think it was better. Not because I was in it, but it was
Yeah,
better than the. Absolutely.
yeah, I agree with that.
Like Godfather 2 was, I think, better than the. Well, actually, to me, Godfather 1 and 2 was one big movie.
Tied, yeah. I think it was
Godfather,
tied.
Godfather 3 was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, but I felt Godfather 3 was also like needed in a way to show you how great the first two were.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
the big mistake, they didn't have Robert Duvall in it, but it had a couple of good scenes.
Yeah. So, are you a big Rocky guy?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my videos. I play Rocky. My manager does Mickey. I mean, I love, I love Stallone.
Yeah.
He does. I love all his movies. I mean, that movie came out in 1976. I was a teenager. I mean, and he's one of my inspirations because he wrote Rocky. He went to LA with $60 in his pocket. They didn't want him as the main star. He said, "Fuck you! I got to be the main star." And I love that attitude. And that's how I feel. You know, you don't like me, fuck you. You know.
Now, does your comedy brain, because this is how my comedy brain works with the first Rocky, I feel in a way, even though it's a boxing movie, I feel it's also a comedy. And I feel like, in a way, if you take out the boxing, it's much like stand up because you're trying to succeed. And
Yes.
there's going to be days where you lose, but
Yes.
at the end, a gig that you succeed is better than a loss.
I feel like, yeah, and plus he has some funny lines in that movie. He is comical. But yes, you're right. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I feel people like if they know nothing about comedy, I feel they can't transition to that. You know what I mean?
Well, like this at that one point, all he doesn't care if he wins or loses. He just wants to go to distance and show them that he's not just another bum from the neighborhood. But another great movie that's got a lot of that one great line from A Bronx Tale: "The saddest thing in life is wasted talent."
Yeah.
That's one
That's
of my favorite books. That and Steve Martin. He
oh,
says, "Be so good that they can't ignore you." I love that.
have you ever ran into Steve Martin?
No,
Oh, dude, it was so. I got a story for you. It's a Steve Martin story. So I toured with Norm Macdonald for 9 years, and yeah, and we did San Diego once. And you know how like when you do a weekend, it's usually Thursday one show, Friday two shows, Saturday two shows,
right, right.
Sunday one
Yep.
show. So the Saturday second show, for some reason, I was just sick. Like I couldn't go on stage. I was like, Norm, I'm sorry, I can't do the late show for whatever reason. I just didn't feel good. And he's like, why not? There's a special guest coming.
That's great.
And I was like, and I thought he was just fucking with me because he does that. I was like, yeah, but you
Don't
don't.
tell me you left and miss Steve Martin.
It was Steve Martin, and Steve Martin did a set,
Did
and
you leave?
I left. And then I was like, ah. And then Norm was like, hey, don't worry about it, Reza. I got a card that says I met Steve Martin.
Oh my God.
So it was like I was like, ah, fuck. The one time to get sick. Like,
That's a great story.
yeah, like he could have put me in Father and the Bride 9 or something.
That's another guy that went too soon.
Yeah. Norm, yeah, he was awesome, man. Did you ever run into him?
No, he played the Grim Reaper on Family Guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
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 No, I never met.
So what was it like? Like was Andrew Dice Clay nice to you when you were started?
Yes, we started together. This is how long I'm doing stand-up. I
Yeah.
started, the first time I went on stage was at Pip's Comedy Club. It was the oldest club in the country. He was the MC. That's how long I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Now, he was a character. He did a lot of impersonations. His big bit was Stallone, Eric Roberts, John Travolta sitting around as kids in a campfire, and it's fucking hilarious. He did come up with that whole Dice persona like a couple of years after I met him. But to me, he's nice, because we started together.
Yeah, yeah.
Matter of fact, We did shows with him a couple of months ago. He contacted my manager. He says, I would love to do a show with Vic. I couldn't fucking believe a legend wants to do a show with me. We did 2 shows in Florida. We sold it out in 24 hours. Wow. It was awesome. Yeah. Pretty cool.
So how do like double headlining shows like that work? Like, do you guys switch on closing it out?
Obviously, he's got to close. I mean, I'm not going to him. Plus, he's got the name. He's the legend. Right. So I went on first, and we split the time. I go on first. I introduce him, and he comes up, and it was just a great show.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So when you're doing comedy now, and you know, do you ever think that if people didn't shout out the stuff from your videos, like if there was no social media and you still did comedy, like how would you be able, you know, like would you be able to survive with that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You know, because when you first start out, you know, those shows where you bomb and you get heckled, those are the shows that toughen you.
Yeah.
You know, Pips was the comedy boot camp. I mean, that was a tough. Sheepshead Bay is known for, you know, mobsters. And I used to say that's where the mobsters met the lobsters. One night, there was a guy got shot next door to me as I'm on stage.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you put the show on. It was so typical Brooklyn. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Typical Tuesday night.
I come outside, the body's covered, there's cops. It's just, but I really don't have problem with hecklers. You know, plus I tell the clubs to, you know, to police the crowd. You know, if you see someone's, you know, once it's all right, twice is cute, but the third time you got to get them the fuck out of there. But I've never really had a problem, thank God.
Yeah. I had a dream the other night.
I never got attacked on stage like Chris Rock.
Oh, yeah. So when I first saw that, at first I thought maybe it was like a joke planned or whatever, you know, but because I thought they were friends, you know, like I could have sworn they worked together a couple times or whatever, but I also feel like whatever, you know what I mean? It happened.
Pissed me off. They go on, they give him an award, they give him an applause. He should have been thrown out of there.
Oh, no, definitely. And I can't watch the Oscars too, because like, I'm sure whoever wins deserves it, but it's never the movies I liked. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But like,
I didn't watch it either last night.
Yeah. It's like Oppenheimer. I turned it off within 10 minutes. It's just not my type of thing.
What's it like, 3 hours?
Yeah.
I'm still watching The Irishman.
That's a long movie. I don't think I finished that one.
Was say De Niro, but that was a little bit too much for me.
I'm still on Titanic Part 1. I remember when I was a kid, Titanic came out, and everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta see Titanic because there's boobies, right?" And you're like, so you go see Titanic, and you tell your parents, "Oh, I'm a history buff," when you know nothing about. And then like, it's like a 7-hour movie, and you're like, "Fuck, the boobies come at the end."
The fucking boat took 2 hours to sink. I was throwing popcorn at the screen, trying to make it sink faster.
Oh my God. You know that scene where the guy's like, "Oh, I'm the king of the world," you know? If only he pushed the guy off the boat, it would have saved us 4 hours of bullshit.
Exactly.
But man, I wanted to ask you, so like I had this weird dream too. This is what we were talking about. I had a dream once that so say social media now, you know, it's blown up all these comics and stuff. Imagine it was back when you started in the 80s, but now in today's time, there is no social media. So like guys in the 80s, like Drake Sather or Warren Thomas, you know, they could have probably really blown up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Makes you think a little.
Yeah, it does. Really does. But you know, the social media it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it got me my following, but now it's turned into a fucking shit fest, man. Everything is negativity. I saw a post on my newsfeed the other day. What comics do you think are unfunny? Why can't they say what comics do you think are funny right away? And like you could see people just waiting to he sucks. Fucking,
yeah,
man, horrible.
I agree. If I'm being honest though, I probably have fallen into that trap where like they've asked me something and then maybe I don't do it to hurt people's feelings, but I give a real honest answer and then they'll tag that person and then it'll just it's like I was just answering a question.
Exactly. Exactly. If you don't 100%, forget. You got to be on their team 100%.
Yeah.
I never talk politics. That's a whole fucking. I'd rather talk sauce or gravy.
Yeah. Politics and religion and
Even sports. When I
sports,
do
yeah.
Yankees, Giants suck. Yankees suck. I fucking relax. I'm a comedian acting. This is fake, you fuck idiot. One lady thought I was actually in the locker room talking to the Yankees.
Oh my God.
Then, like, if I post a video, like if it's wintertime and I repost it in the summer, I don't understand. It's August. How come there's no leaves on your tree and you live in New Jersey? I'm like, asshole. If you watch Home Alone in August, do you think it's Christmas time? Holy shit.
Home Alone's another good one. That's a classic.
Absolutely.
Daniel Stern, man. Holy.
How about Joe Pesci? He could play gangster and he could be comedic.
Yeah.
That's not.
I wanted to ask you, have you like why do you think that kids love sports figures when like we're adults, we love sports figures, but I don't think if we're being honest, I don't think you and I would take a bullet for Shaq or anything. You know what I mean? But if you're a kid, people might.
Well, first of all, when I was a kid, sports was different.
Yeah.
You know, now these athletes, they're all show ponies. You know, it's all business. I'm still a huge Yankee fan, but already Garrett Cole, I hear now, needs an MRI. Aaron Judge is injured. You got to pay $7 for a fucking pretzel, $40 to park the car. It makes it, the older you get, the more you realize. But you know, I'll watch the game, but I don't go to the games anymore.
Yeah.
It's not the same. You know, Mickey Mantle played with fevers and broken bones, and he made $36,000 a year. You know, it's changed.
Yeah.
They don't pitches. No, there's no more complete game. 5 innings. They bring somebody else in. Oh, his arm. You got to reserve his arm. It's just they're all a bunch of fucking pussies, man. It's not the same.
No, definitely. Because like I'll give you an example. I'm a New York Jet fan. And like when everyone was like, oh, they got Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be great. I was actually one of the few New York Jet fans that I know of that thought that this was a bad move.
Right. Me too.
So I'm just like, I don't want a guy who like, I don't care if you're vaccinated or not, but I don't want a guy who like, that's all he talks about, how he's not vaccinated. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like my last favorite Jet quarterback, if I'm being honest, was Ryan Fitzpatrick because
wow.
because like even when he played shitty, he still played with all his heart.
Right.
And like that's what you need for sports, I feel. That's
Jeter was my favorite. He was all class.
Who?
Derek Jeter.
Oh yeah, he was awesome. Yeah. I like it in the other guys when they make fun of them. They're like, "Ah, you shot Derek Jeter." Oh man. So Vic, I got 3 more questions for you. I want to respect your time.
I don't care. More questions. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, awesome. So when you're because now you're headlining and stuff, what do you look for when you have like opening support? Like what kind of comics do you pick your buddies or do you find people that relate to your humor or how do you pick that?
Well, some shows. See, my manager, he manages me and 2 other comics. So a lot of times he'll let them open for me. But
Yeah.
they also, like sometimes if they headline on the same nights I'm headlining, we'll get like a local guy. Like this past weekend in Chicago, there was these 2 young comics, local comics. You know, they go to me, is there anything you want me to say or not say? I'm like, I don't give a shit what you say. You could be clean, you could be dirty, because that's my problem. I got to deal with it. You do what you got to do. I really don't care. I don't care as long as they're funny.
Yeah. Have you ever had?
Easy to get along with. I really am. This is it. There's no ego here. What you see is what you get.
Have you ever had a opening comic where like they just bombed really bad and you're like, oh, I guess that one, you know what I mean? And like it just made you had to like,
Yeah, then you come to age and you're like, fuck, what do I say to the guy? Guy, I hate the guys that they bomb and then they say, I killed, I crushed. Yeah, okay. All right. But like, yeah, I mean, if it's a bad comic, I tell my manager, please don't put this guy ahead of me. I want to follow somebody who's got the crowd going,
yeah.
I don't go up there and like, I once did a benefit years ago. Some lady that died of cancer, and the host goes up and talks about the lady, and everybody's fucking crying. She's crying, and now we're gonna bring up Vic DiBitetto, the comedian. I mean, come on, man, you can't follow that.
It's like telling jokes at a funeral.
Yes.
So I used to open up for Bobby Slayton, and I remember
comedy.
Oh, he's awesome. And I remember one time he let the waiter do a guest set. He was like a up and comer comic, and so he does a guest set, and Bobby and I are, and Bobby's just picking his chops and stuff. He's like, God, why did I say yes? Like this guy's making everyone fall asleep and stuff. So then the waiter gets off stage. He's like, how did I do? And Slayton's like, I think you should really stay a waiter. I was like, oh my God.
His favorite is when because he's a big Three Stooges fan.
Yeah.
And the episode was Shemp is on. It's fucking Shemp. The way he does it.
I love Bobby. I call him my grandpa of comedy. You know what I mean? So he's a great guy. I wanted to ask you if you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself, and knowing what you know now, what advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, wow. That's a great question. Holy shit.
Yeah.
What advice would I give a younger me?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, go for like acting lessons, besides the comedy. Yeah, I guess go for more auditions.
Yeah.
Because right now, after Kevin James put me in that movie, nothing happened except till 2 years ago. I'm in a show called Gravesend. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna be in season 3. They start shooting in a couple of months. It's about the mob in the 80s in Brooklyn. What a shocker. But yeah, I wish maybe go to LA, and stay there a while, do the, try to do the Comedy Store, and, they get seen to be in a sitcom. But I always put my family first, I always had 2 jobs. I had to support a family and do the sitcom. I drove a dump truck, a garbage truck, a cement. I drove my garbage truck to Dangerfields in New York City. And I told the manager, if you give me stage time, I'll pick up your garbage. Wow. That's how I got into Fields.
So you went off route to pick up that guy's garbage.
And he gave me stage time. That's how I got into Dangerfields. Oh. I went on stage uniform.
Wait, in the garbage truck uniform?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Folks, I got my truck parked outside. I got to make this quick. And I'm pulling away the horn. They're waving at me through the window.
The hazard lights are on.
Yep. I was double parked.
Oh man. I'm so glad you said that and you didn't say, Vic, if Keith Reza asks you to do his podcast, say no.
Wait, say that again?
If you say, Vic, if Keith Reza asks you to do his podcast, say no.
Oh, no. No problem. I love these. It helps. It helps me. It helps you. One hand washes the other.
Yeah, definitely. And then
what does it take to sit here for a few minutes I like, especially that, you know, I love when the young comics are interested in me. Makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's what I want when I get older is young comics to look up to me and then tell them, "Hey, you made a mistake looking up to me." I think
Yeah,
like that's the best. You know what I mean?
yeah. Murphy's story about Rodney Dangerfield.
I've never met him, but I know a lot of Rodney Dangerfield stories. I want to hear one though.
This is hilarious. Eddie Murphy's at Dangerfield's and he goes on stage. He comes off stage. Rodney goes, "Hey, kid, you know, you're not going to get far with all that cursing. You should take the cursing out. You're going to go nowhere, you know?" Fast forward, Eddie skyrockets to fame. He bumps into Dangerfield. Dangerfield goes, "Who knew?"
Oh my god.
About a delayed response.
Yeah. Oh man, Dangerfield. He's a guy. I think if you pick all the comics that were around back then that you would want today, I think I would probably pick Dangerfield.
He was great because his jokes are really timeless.
Yeah.
You know, he's not dated. Well, George Carlin was my idol. I had all his albums, and I regret never meeting him.
Did you ever get an opportunity to meet him?
No, if I did, I would have probably got sick like you.
Oh,
Fuck,
did you ever see him live or no?
no,
Oh man,
yeah.
yeah. So like that.
If he was around today in a social media, people would be having fucking seizures.
Oh no, definitely. But like, so like that's the thing where I think as a comic, because obviously getting on stage and making people laugh, that's the most important thing of it. But I also think that every comic, regardless how famous or how successful you are, every comic needs a day where they needed to just go out and watch another comic. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's good. That's how you learn. You know, besides stage time, the most stage time, that's how you hone your craft. But it's good to watch other comics and see, you know, how what they do in different situations.
Yeah, and I take it as an assault where like, we make other people laugh because what we're doing really is we're making people escape from their problems and forget, right?
Absolutely. You know,
So,
meet and greets. You got to see some of the comments. Like, first of all, I don't have to do meet and greets. You know, if I do like a 1,200 seat theater, it's impossible to do a meet and greet for 1,200 people. It'll take forever. So that's why they set up VIP tickets.
mhm,
But at comedy clubs, small venues, I stay till the very end, till every hand is shaken and every picture is taken, and that comes back to you. And the most common comment I get is, "Dude, you got me through my darkest days. You got me through COVID. I just want to thank you. I had cancer. I was getting treatment, and your videos really helped." I mean, that does not compare to any standing ovation or sold out show.
yeah. And I think that it's important for guys to go, even comics, to go see comics because that experience that we give other people, that comic give it. Because the truth is I have issues, Vic, you have issues. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
that's
right.
just the truth of it. You know what I mean?
People
I think,
say, yeah, people say I get them through their dark days. I said, you know, a lot of times, hey, we all have some bad days. You know, me and my wife, my kids are out of the house. We're going through the empty nest syndrome now, and it's horrible. But my fans, when I'm on that stage, it helps a lot. You know, it's good therapy. It really is.
yeah. Some of the like people would make comments like that towards Norm, and like I was one of the few people who knew Norm had cancer, and it was like very hush hush. So I remember that this guy said exactly word for word what you said. How my wife just died of cancer, and he's just telling Norm this, and he's like, "Oh, you really got me through today." And Norm was being nice and stuff, and when the guy left, he's like, "We saved that guy's life because now he's single."
Wow, I would have loved to met him.
But it was so dark, but yet so funny. You know what I
You ever
mean?
an interview with him? It was
Uh,
fucking hilarious.
yeah, yeah. I'll send it to you. It was one of
No,
the.
I saw it. I wondered if you saw it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was one of the earlier ones, but yeah, he was awesome, man. All right, and my last question for you, Vic, is where can the folks at home follow and support you at?
Okay, VicDiBitetto.net. That's my website, but you got to spell my name right. and you probably spell it right because people don't listen. So the best thing, simple, just go to Google, type in Vic D. Everything fills out. There's everything and anything you need to know about me. It'll take you to my fan page, my YouTube channel, my website. You Google Vic D. That's all. It's not that hard, folks. I get people. I was at the Hard Rock Casino in Atlantic City. I'm there once a year. Somebody writes, "How do I get tickets for the Hard Rock Casino?" I said, "Call Resorts." Contact the fucking venue. If I go see Springsteen, I don't contact Springsteen. I go to his website.
Yeah.
If you hold their hand, it's amazing. It really is. It's sad what the fuck's out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep an eye out on your website. I don't know if California is ever going to come, but if you ever do Vegas, and if I don't have a show, I would love to come and support you and hang out.
I used to the Riviera before they imploded it. Then I did the Tropicana. Then I was booked at the Plaza Hotel on Tremont Street, the Comedy Works. And then COVID hit. That got canceled. So I'm done. I love Vegas. I used to do it like once a year. Love Vegas.
All right. Well, I'll keep an eye out because that's, everyone will make a drive to Vegas even if he can't come to California. So
3 hours, right?
Yeah. 4 hours. Yeah.
Plus, well, thank you. I had a great time. Thank you.
Of course, Vic. It would be an honor to actually meet you face to face and have some laughs with you.
You never know.
All right. Fist bump, buddy. Zoom
All
fist
right.
bump. Bye, Vic. Have a great day.
Who did you think? Russell?
Russell, yeah.
Well, make sure you contact him. Tell him everything went great because he's a fucking neurotic.
Okay.
I love him. We have a brother relationship. He says, "Well, do me a favor, be funny, will you?"
No, I see that's the thing where I feel podcasts is that's where like comics get it wrong at times. And this is just my opinion, but
Exactly.
I feel a podcast should be interesting then fun.
Yes, absolutely. There's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah, because this was a real conversation, vulnerable. It's also funny, but I just care more about interesting and knowing about you and how it's going to help me.
Thank you. You're a good guy.
All right, Vic. Well, have a great day, buddy.
You got it.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys. All right.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week. Subscribe, rate, review. We'll see you guys. Bye.